TIFU by basically buying a serial killer starter kit at my local hardware store. This happened earlier today and I'm pretty sure I'm on a police watch list now. Needed to pick up a few things from my local hardware store I was running low on that I like to have around. Zip ties, duct tape, and things for quick repairs. While I was there I noticed they were having a store-wide sale. I'm an avid outdoorsman and with hunting season coming up I like to keep certain backup items in my truck if I need them. I figured I would grab some things while they are on sale. Walking through the aisles I start randomly grabbing items I think I might need for my kit, such as a tarp, some rope, large knife, headlamp, latex gloves, and a lantern with extra batteries. Keep in mind I already have zip ties and duct tape in my cart when I walk up to the register. These are things I generally purchase, buy never all at once. Girl at the register greets me as I start placing items on the counter. I give her my number for rewards points and she quickly starts scanning things. About halfway through she slows down a bit. She looks down at my already bagged items, at the stuff left on the counter, and then back to me. I'm just standing there waiting with my wallet in hand, clueless as to what is now processing in her head. Then we have a light convo that in hindsight prob made things worse. Wow, that's a big knife. Me, yeah, I like having cheap, throwaway knives around. Same with tarps and stuff too. Stares at me funny after my reply as she scans knife. Can I see your ID to verify you're at least 18 to purchase this? Me being 30, going bald, and grey in my beard looks at her weird as I've never been asked for my ID here. Pull it out and hand it to her. She quickly looks at my ID info and then glances up at her screen where I noticed my reward info was pulled up. Didn't think anything of it at the time. She says thanks, hands it back while still looking at it, and finishes scanning my items. Almost looking like she was taking inventory of what I had. She gives me my total and I hand her some cash. Prob another red flag, no paper trail. Get my change, grab my bags, and head for the door. She yells back don't forget your receipt as she walks it over to me. I grab it as I notice her quickly glance up at the security camera in front of the door. I say thanks and leave thinking that whole situation was weird. I get home and start unpacking my bags to sort stuff out on my kitchen table when my wife comes up behind me. She glances at my items and jokingly asks if she should be worried. I was like what? Still clueless. Before she points out that it looks like I'm about to go tie someone up and murder them. Girl at register must have thought the same thing. Checked my info and I'm pretty sure made sure she got my face on the security camera in case someone pops up murdered on the news later. Told my wife about cashier and she about died laughing at me for being so clueless. TL, doctor, bought zip ties, duct tape, knife, tarp, rope, and other questionable items randomly for hunting season on sale at my local hardware store. Pretty sure cashier thought I was a serial killer. Go back and buy the exact same things next week. If they are still on sale I might haha. Exactly the Reddit post a serial killer would make to seem innocent. Wanna join me on a hunting trip? Nah, a true zero paper trail person wouldn't give their info for the rewards points. That's easier to track than a credit card transaction. Very true, unless I'm just that arrogant like a lot of serial killers, smiley face. And GT, told my wife about cashier and she about died laughing. Hell that was easy. You didn't even need the kit. Just the tarp. I love the idea of a serial killer making sure they get their butternut reward points. Frequent flying that butternut lol. Shoulda used my visa and doubled down on rewards, smiley face. TIFU by blowing my load absolutely everywhere during a massage. So this actually happened almost 4 years ago now and will need just a little backstory. I visited Thailand in September 15 as part of a, still ongoing, trip around the world. This was via a tour group and so, to keep the budget low, we were often put into shared rooms. This meant that trying to butternut was a little bit of a problem, and I never felt okay jerking off in shared bathrooms/showers, so I decided to just not bother for the duration of the trip. I was there for a month and this happened during week 3, so you can imagine, my cajones were a little heavy by this point and my libido was getting just a tad ravenous. One morning whilst enjoying the sporadic sun between the monsoons on Koh Samui, I decided to strip down to buy boxer shorts and plunge into the warm ocean instead of heading back to my room and changing into my swimming shorts. After a little splash around, I used the outdoor shower to wash the salt water off and put my sweatpants on with no underwear. I didn't think much of it. I then proceeded to drink a fairly decent amount of beer and gorged myself on plates of delicious pad thai. I suffer from ongoing back pains, so when I hit Thailand I took full advantage of their cheap massage houses. Now, considering how vulgar my username is, I am actually a bit of a prude. I didn't want any rug and tug situations. In all honesty, it just does nothing for me once I start visualizing how many other dicks those hands have played around with, you know? Not that I'm chastising anyone who does enjoy that, it's just not my cup of tea. So, after being a little drunk and full of food, I decided to go to a nearby massage parlor and to get my near daily full body rub down. This wasn't one of those sleazy parlors you see dotted around everywhere, not a hint of neon lighting or blacked out windows. It was small and a tad ramshackle but was obviously a classier establishment. I went in and there was one woman working. It was otherwise entirely devoid of anyone else. I asked for the same as always, paid up in advance, in case she thought I was after anything extra, and got ready. It was only when I started taking my sweatpants off that I remembered that I was free balling. I explained to the lovely young lady my dilemma and offered to just roll up my trousers, but she just handed me an extra towel and turned around whilst I awkwardly positioned myself on my stomach with a towel under me and another over my banana. The first half of the massage went well. It was actually one of the best ones I'd had by this point. She seemed to pinpoint a lot of my knots and just went to town on them. I'm a big fan of more aggressive massages. I was in absolute bliss. Then came the time for the front. Look, by this point I had been massaged by young women, elderly women, flamboyantly cheesecake men, miserable old men, lady boys and everything in between. In every single instance each one of them had awoken the beast to some level or another. This massage I was at absolute full mast. One of those I've not jerked off in 3 weeks. My butternut actually aches type of stonkers. I apologized profusely because no towel in the world was gonna hide that particular beast. She laughed and started working on my legs. I started relaxing a bit more. I imagined it was nothing she hadn't seen before. My zucchini is a bit overweight but not particularly long, and tried to settle back down and enjoy it. She went up the thigh and nudged my nuts with the kind of delicate touch I imagine a pixie would have. My helmet popped out from under the towel in an almost mocking manner. I went to pull the towel back up a little more, but she did as well, and in doing so managed to stroke just the tip of my zucchini. Zucchini fired out of my zucchini with such ferocity that I thought I'd broken something. A load of it shot on her hand, a lot went all over my chest, but I also decided to try and sit up at the same time, and another hot wad of baby batter shot itself all over the massage bed, the floor and on her forearm. All the while I'm desperately trying to apologize, mopping up my seed whilst still emptying both barrels in a confusing mixture of ecstasy and despair, mostly despair. After a short while, the fireworks were over. There was a pregnant pause. She looked neither angry or sad, just a little bewildered. I realized that I'd been using both her fresh towels to mop up my mess and was just this Gollum-esque, butt-naked creature awkwardly perched on her massage bed, covered in butternut and probably reeking of alcohol, who up until recently had been screaming apologies in between the occasional gasps of joy. Wordlessly I put my clothes on, not making eye contact. I pulled my wallet out and gave her about 1,500 baht. The massage cost 200 to put that into perspective, and slowly slunk out. I often wonder if she talks about this absolutely cheesecake up situation. Edit, typos. Edit 2, after desperately trying to reply to as many of the posts as I could, I received a notification that I'd hit the front page. So, I guess it's gonna take me a while longer than anticipated to get back to y'all. I still need to work too. In all honesty, I wrote up this event because I had been told I had to during one of the many times I have regaled people with it. I had spent all day yesterday just writing incredibly downbeat stuff and decided to take a break and to quickly scribble up something a little more jovial, more for myself than anything else, thinking that it would maybe make a few people chuckle and was pretty harmless, so I posted it typos and all. I did not ever expect this response. It's really lifted my spirits and I am grateful beyond words. Every little compliment and giggle is doing more good than I think most people would realize. Thank you. Doctor, got a massage whilst forgetting my underwear, ended up shooting my wad all over myself, a poor masseuse and her equipment in a furious display of penile theatrics. Just to put it in more perspective, 1,500 baht equals $48 US. 200 baht equals $6.50, just adding extra unnecessary clarification. So you're okay with those coconut hands all over your body, just not on your own coconut. Now I'm picturing a beautiful Asian lady with tentacle coconut fingers. I usually get the rug and tug when I go to IKEA. Ruganchug. Living over 6 years in Thailand, a massage place doesn't have to look sleazy at all, that there will be hand jobs and more offered. Probably no biggie to her, the only one who acted weird was yourself. The accidental nut and coconut stroke was not at all accidental. Yup, absolutely. I spent a few months there myself and absolutely there were times where going in for a massage they'd be trying to work me up for more with a brush here or a tap there. Easy way for them to see if you're interested in them making a bit more money for some extra attention, as they can always say it was accidental or a misinterpretation. Would underwear have been any more comfortable for a massage? I thought people were always under a towel. Plus I'd imagine tenting in boxers is as awkward as in a towel, though I guess with lower chance of slippage. TIFU by losing a butt plug, NSFW. This happened about 20 minutes ago. Last night my girlfriend and I decided to go out to the bars. Got very drunk and stumbled back to my place and starting doing the deed. Recently, we decided to be adventurous and invested in some butt plugs for her. Well, last night was the first time we decided to use them. We read online that using lube makes putting the plugs in easier, so that we did. Everything went well, but afterwards we couldn't find the plug. This is where the TIFU begins. We figured the butt plug must have just fallen out or something, so we went to sleep and we would find it in the morning. Woke up hungover and went to get food, entirely forgetting about the plug. GF's stomach has been hurting, so we just figured she's a little extra hungover, no big deal. We arrive at MCDS to get some greasy hangover food. I order while GF heads to the bathroom to hopefully resolve her stomach issue. As I take our order back to our table, GF walks over in a panic saying we need to leave now. She found the butt plug. In our drunken state, we managed to put the entire thing in her coconut, handle and all. And now it's sitting at the bottom of a McDonald's toilet in all its glory. TL, doctor, did not use a butt plug as directed. And GT, and now it's sitting at the bottom of a McDonald's toilet in all its glory. You made some poor kid quit. You don't pay me enough to clean these toilets. Someone is now wondering what's this new Happy Meal toy and why it ended up in the toilet. The MCDS employee who found it should do an AMA. Butt plug in your bum, I'm loving it. Drinker, likes cheesecake out butt plugs at fast food joints. That's a keeper right there.